They said he wouldn't walk again, that no horse could survive this. But one little girl, barely tall enough to see over the stall door, refused to believe it. What happened next didn't just change one horse's life. It changed an entire community. And it all started on one misty October morning. On a fog-covered October morning, in the quiet hills of western Montana, something happened that would turn Pine Hollow stables into a place of miracles. The trees wore their autumn colors like cloaks of fire, amber, rust, and gold, while the air carried the earthy scent of fallen leaves and wood smoke. It was the kind of morning that felt like the calm before a storm. Inside the stable, Spirit, an 8-year-old quarter horse with a copper coat that caught the light like polished bronze, was being led out for his daily warm-up. He had a reputation. Not the fastest horse, not the strongest, but steady, loyal, brave, the kind of horse riders trusted with closed eyes. But that morning, something spooked him. Maybe it was a bird taking flight too close. Maybe a sudden gust of wind. No one could say for sure. All they heard was the sharp sound of hooves skidding, followed by a hollow, gut-dropping thud. Spirit had collapsed. Stable hands rushed to his side, shouting for help. When he tried to rise, only his front legs responded. His hind legs dragged uselessly behind him. The panic was instant and real. Dr. Lila Chen, the stable's veterinarian of over a decade, arrived within the hour. She'd treated fractures, colic, infections, but this was different. After a tense examination, her face paled. A severe spinal injury, swelling that was pinching nerves, no mobility in the hindquarters. The verdict? If Spirit couldn't stand soon, he wouldn't survive. You see, horses are prey animals. Their survival depends on their ability to stand and run. When they can't, their health spirals, fast. Days passed, then weeks. There were stretches of quiet in the barn where even the birds outside seemed to go silent. Everyone watched and waited, and gradually, hope began to slip away. Until she showed up. Her name was Lily, 6 years old. Freckles on her cheeks and curls that never obeyed gravity. She had been taking riding lessons at Pine Hollow since she could walk, and Spirit was the first horse she ever rode. Now she came to his stall every single day, always with the same backpack, bright pink and overstuffed with carrots and apples. She'd sit cross-legged outside his stall, talking to him, sometimes singing, sometimes reading books with more pictures than words. "Come on, Spirit," she'd whisper. "You just have to remember how to get up. I know you can." To the adults it was sweet, maybe even a little heartbreaking. But mostly, it was just a child doing what children do, believing in things that logic says can't happen. But Lily wasn't done. One day, she brought her aunt, a physical therapist from the nearby rehabilitation center. "He just needs a helper," Lily said. "Like you help people stand up again." Her aunt knelt beside the stall and asked thoughtful questions. Lily had brought drawings, a crude sketch of a horse wearing what looked like a superhero cape with straps. "It's like a floating jacket," she explained. "He won't have to do it alone." That silly drawing. It sparked something serious. What if, within a week, her aunt had gathered a team of engineers, vet techs, and specialists? Using adaptive therapy principles from human recovery, they designed a sling harness rig that could gently lift a horse's body, giving enough support to try standing without damaging his spine. The first time they fitted Spirit with the prototype, the barn went silent. Straps tightened, pulleys adjusted, tension rose. And then, Spirit pushed. His front legs braced, his neck stretched forward. For a moment, nothing happened. Then he was up, just for 5 seconds, maybe 6, but it was everything. Lily clapped so loud she startled the chickens outside. "You did it," she squealed. "You tried." That moment changed everything. The weeks that followed became a careful routine. Controlled standing sessions, gentle exercises, modified physical therapy. And slowly, Spirit began to move again. First with assistance, then with a little less. Then, on a clear afternoon, he took 3 unassisted steps. By the end of the month, he trotted. By Christmas, he galloped, not fast, not far, but free. Word spread quickly. Veterinarians from surrounding states came to see the rig. A medical journal picked up the story. They dubbed it the Lily Lift before the community affectionately renamed it the Child's Hope System. But it wasn't just the horse that was healing. Pine Hollow began a new chapter. Lily's bond with Spirit inspired the owners to start a rehabilitation program, one that paired gentle horses with children recovering from trauma and disability. And Spirit, he became the heart of it all. One spring afternoon, a young boy named Jonah, who hadn't spoken since a car accident months earlier, reached out to touch Spirit's mane. And then, he whispered his first word since the crash. Horse. No one in the barn that day would ever forget it. A year after that fall, Spirit stood proud in his paddock, his coat gleaming in the sunlight. His gait still carried a slight sway, but his spirit, true to his name, was unbroken. Research centers began requesting access to the support system. Horse rehabilitation clinics across the country began implementing versions of it. Lily, now 7, still visited every day. She sat on the fence, legs swinging, reading books aloud as Spirit grazed nearby. "You're the best horse in the world," she'd say. And Spirit, who now stood tall not just because he could, but because a little girl believed he should, would nudge her shoulder as if to agree. This wasn't just a comeback. It was a beginning.